Well, at least you know I'm running right up the middle.
Hello all, Project Wargaming here with a new scenario that Dad and I played in our Naval campaign. This scenario was very interesting because this is his same fleet that he used in the last battle, which means that 3 out of the 4 ships are actually just almost destroyed. They have already half their hull missing and then some of their sails as well. My fleet is a brand new fleet that I was able to catch up with him. So we had some very interesting rolls on the weather. This scenario also starts in the fog, so we're using these poker chips as markers to identify real ships and then fake ships. Half of them are real and half of them are dummy. And so Dad chooses to set his chips up in this way, and I choose to scatter my chips out, trying to find this fleet so I can destroy it. If I can destroy this fleet, then it's basically the end of the game. It's the end of not only this game that we're playing on the table, but it's really the end of the campaign, because this will mean that I've captured 2 74s of his, and I just really, really overwhelm him in naval superiority. So it probably won't be very fun to play out from here. So I'm really trying to trap his ships, and so I'm moving my chips around to try to get close enough. When we are able to get within 6 inches of the chips, then we have to reveal if the chips represent something or not. We're in the fog, so 6 inches is as close as you can shoot. And so I go up first and I'm able to contact those chips, and I reveal that that chip represents 2 74s and that chip there is a dummy. So I reveal my ships up there, so it's very clear that his 2 chips in the middle are where the rest of his ships are. So I'm going to start to converge on those and try to trap them and put them in a bad spot. So he was trying to use the islands to his advantage, which did help him some, but initiative-wise, I definitely got the upper hand most of the time. So I'm able to move my sloop in here and make his ships pop and reveal themselves. So from here on out, we put all the ships out on the table, and we're still in the fog though, so we can only shoot 6 inches, but we basically know where each other is at. And so from here on out, all the ships are revealed, and we move according to the normal rules of movement in this game. When we were using the chips, we were just using a very generic, they move 8 inches any direction, and we really weren't concerned about wind and things like that. It was really just trying to determine how the scenario is going to get to a point where it gets set up. So here you can see I have another Razzie over there on the left with 2 small brigs, and then my sloop exchanges a fire with his 74, and he turntails and runs real fast to get out of there. He only has to run more than 6 inches away because, again, we're in the fog. So that saves him for another day of fighting. My 2 74s are starting to come down into a blocking position for his ships, and my other squadron over there with the Razzie and the brigs is really trying to get enough water between me and Dad's fleet so that I can turn around and do another blocking run from him. However, the wind changes a number of times in this scenario, and so it actually turns out that I do a pretty effective job of blocking Dad's fleet coming at us there, and he turns and starts to come down the middle of those 2 islands. So his front ship here is called the July, which he actually captured in one of the earlier battles. It was one of my ships, and ironically, my front 74 there is one of the ships that I captured from him. So it doesn't take long for my 2 74s beaten up on a pretty weak 74 of his that it doesn't take long before he strikes as well. He's got a little frigate behind there and then that sloop. The frigate does a good job of kind of doing some blocking itself and slowing down my 74s once I get them turned around. And Dad then takes his remaining 74 in his sloop and starts to run it down the middle of the table on those 2 islands. I'm able to get my squadron turned around and into a position of blocking. Dad comes up with his 74 though, and actually is able to make one of my small brigs strike, which only makes sense. The 74 against the poor brig. Didn't take long for that to happen. And then he brings up a sloop behind him as well. But unfortunately, I'm able to get my 74 around the islands and the ships there, and I'm able to come up and actually get his 74 to strike along with the sloop. So, fun game. Campaign's over. We're going to start a different campaign soon, probably American Civil War, but campaign games are very much a lot of fun. Talk to you later.